Hi guys, it's Andrew Priestley and welcome to Multiply Your Money. This is episode number 31 and we're season 1, 31. We've got one more episode before the end of season 1 and then we're going to go into season 2. And I'm reading from The Money Chimp, and I had some great news. I had some really good news just recently. Number one is The Money Chimp is still in the top 100 money books on Amazon in the UK. And secondly, I checked this morning, and in Kindle and in paperback, The Money Chimp is in the top 20 books, top 20 money books, okay, under money managing skills. So if you search money managing skills, you'll find The Money Chimp. So the premise of the book is spend less, save more, get out of debt faster. And I'm in these conversations, I'm unpacking that. So I'm really delighted about that. So all thanks goes to you guys, because that wouldn't happen without your support, okay? But I'm especially delighted because it's a book that people need to read. It's well worth reading. I like the fact that it's changing lives, because I get that feedback. I often get feedback from people who've said, this book just changed the way I think about money. There's Jatinder. Hey, welcome. How are you, mate? So I'm reading from a book called The Money Chimp, and I want to talk about, just recap slightly on what I talked about last time. And on the last episode, and if you go back, you'll find those episodes there. I was talking about credit cards, and hey, there's Donna. Hi, Donna. I was talking about credit cards, and in particular, I was talking about the marshmallow test. And if you don't know about the marshmallow test, very basically, in Stanford University in the early 1960s, the researchers wanted to test about impulse control. When does somebody learn to control their impulses, right? And they were particularly looking at children, and they were saying, okay, well, there was a great study on when do kids learn to tell lies, right? And so it's sort of along that childhood research thing. But when do children learn to control their impulses? And if you're a parent and you've ever toilet trained children, you know that it kicks in about 1 or 2. But the ability to delay impulse, to control your impulses and delay gratification. Hey, there's Karen. Hi, Karen. You've got to check out Karen's book, The 4 Money Mindsets, which is just doing gangbusters. Okay, great book to read. She's in the group on the Multiply Your Money group, so you want to go in there, and I've just put up a post about Karen's book on there, which is well worth getting, The 4 Money Mindsets. Check it out. But I was talking about impulse control, and so what they did was at Stanford, they took a whole bunch of 4-year-olds and they sat them at a table, and on the table was a plate with a marshmallow and a little bell, right? And they said to the kids, look, here's what you can do, right? This is a 4 and 5-year-olds. If you want, you can have the if you want, you can eat the marshmallow right now, and that's it, end of it. But if you can wait 15 minutes, right, then you can have 2 marshmallows, or you can have 2 lollies, or 2 toys, whatever it was. But the marshmallow was the original test, right? But you can have 1 right now, or you can have 2 later if you can just wait for 15 minutes. Now, for a 4-year-old, that seems like forever. Okay, so and they were testing impulse control. Particularly, they were looking at how do people control their impulses, and they were looking at how they did it was distracting. So here's what happened. Here's what the test showed. Number one, there were a whole bunch of kids that just could not resist the temptation. They just had to have it now. So they ate the marshmallow, game over. But there were some kids who would sit there and the temptation got too much for them, so they rang the little bell and ate the marshmallow, 5 or 10 minutes into it. Then the third lot of kids found ways to distract themselves. They would sing songs to themselves, they would look elsewhere, they would turn around, but they would find some way not to eat the marshmallow. And then 15 minutes later, the person came in and gave them a couple more marshmallows, right? Job done, they were happy. Now here's what happened longitudinally. When they studied these kids, and remember these kids were in a blind test, so the parents didn't know the result, and the kids certainly didn't know the result. But when they followed up these children, okay, they found this. The kids that could control their impulse, the kids that could wait, right across the board, in every measure that they could conceive of, outperformed and did better than those kids that couldn't wait. Right? Now, the parents didn't know who could or couldn't wait. They didn't know the results of the thing. Only the researchers knew that. But what they showed was that the kids that could wait outperformed everyone else. Now, see, credit cards are counterintuitive to that. Right? What credit cards do is they say, right, you can have it now. And, it's like drinking, responsible use of drinking, responsible use of your credit card, right? Well, we know that people are irresponsible around credit cards, straight up and down. Here in the UK, young people, and I'm talking 18 to 28s, right, owe a staggering 9.7 billion on their credit cards, right? Collectively, of any age, the UK owes 72.5 billion on credit card debt, right? That's a household debt of around about £15,834 per household, right, per the head of population, okay? We just know you can't say no. It just gives you the temptation. Spending money makes you feel good, so they go off and do that. So when I talk to people who've maxed out their credit card, right, and I'm talking to anyone about money, I'm listening to how they talk about the money. And the thing I've learned, and I wish I invented this, but I didn't. There's a lot of smarter people than me have told me this. There's two types of people. There's those people who are spenders and those who are investors. Now, spenders spend everything they earn and some, and investors spend less than they earn and they invest. And that's what we're doing. And you know what a spender feels like, and you know what an investor feels like, right? You know what it feels like, most importantly. But I listen to how people talk about money. So when I listen to people talk about their money, and I'm reading from the Money Chimp, and I'm listen to Your Money talk, right? I drew the cartoons, by the way, right? When I listen to people talk about their money, they either sound like a grown-up or they sound like a kid. Now, managing your money is grown-ups' work, okay? And I don't use the word adult because I know a lot of adults who have a chronological adult age who are hopeless at managing money. So this is not an adult thing I'm talking about. It's a grown-up thing, right? And a dead giveaway is the way you talk about money. So, for example, if you say, I can't, I haven't, I must, I should, it's too late, money's so boring, I hate saving, I don't know how to do it, I don't get the numbers, I don't do this, I don't do that, I'm scared to look, I've got no money, what am I going to do next week? When you listen to that, you can hear the tone of it. You get a sense of how they sound around money. But particularly the words, the words might be, I'm no good, I'm not. It's usually self-disparaging language. I'm no good with this. And embedded in it is a sense of helplessness, and that logic is circular. So it says, I can't, therefore I don't need to. So because I'm no good at money, I don't need to learn how to be good with money because I'm no good at money. See the circular argument there, right? And in a sense, it's your get out of jail free card. Because I'm no good at money, I'm not going to look at it, so therefore can't blame me if I've got no money, right? But I'll still moan about it, but you can't blame me because I'm no good at money. You see the logic here? Okay. So when I hear that, I know that I'm typically dealing with someone who's emotionally young in the way they think about money. So if I was talking to Karen, for example, right? Or if I was talking to a coach like Fanny Snaith, or if I was talking to Jason Greystone, for example, or Josh Blakely, if I were talking to people like that, I'm sure that they would do a money biography where you'd backtrack. And Karen, if I'm right, just give me a thumbs up if I'm on the right track here. But they would backtrack into money stories and they would find your earliest memories and experiences of money, and they would probably find that the way you are around money now is pretty much identical to the thoughts and feelings you had about when you were a kid, right? Now, is that true for everyone? No, because I know people who are hopeless with money when they're a child and they're very good at managing money right now. They change something, right? But I find people with that mindset usually act helpless and even scared around money. And regardless of their chronological age, when the topic turns to money or saving or keeping receipts or reading statements, the eyes glaze over. I think I'll just think about doing Woody block puzzles. So I wonder, Candy Crush sounds pretty good right now. Or I think I'll just do some thummies on my phone. Or maybe I need to go and make myself a coffee. They'll distract themselves. They'll go do something else. They'll be elsewhere. They're not present around it, right? And what I find is suddenly very smart people are overwhelmed. And I was chatting with a guy who earns 200,000, and when I had loads of valuable advice to give him, but I asked him a couple of questions, and it was just like, the shutters come down, right? Resistance. See, now if somebody says to me, I haven't got money, but I'm willing to learn. I'm learning this. I'm trying that. I got myself a book from the library on budgeting, or I'm asking my friends about it, or I rang up my accountant, or I'm taking a course, or I've been on my bank website reading up on this, or, there are thousands of websites on how to manage your money. And I did a desk search, over 300 websites. That's how I wrote this book, right? Doing over 40 courses, reading over 140 books, and doing over 300 desk searches on websites on managing money, right? I'm learning about it. So the same person who can devote 15, 20 minutes, half an hour to Woody Block Puzzle, or watching, police chase car police chase videos, or, cat videos, or funny dog videos, or something like that, right? You could spend the same amount of time doing a desk search on managing your money. On YouTube, start with YouTube. There's hundreds and thousands of sites. You don't have to do everything they tell you, but just educate yourself, right? It's actually one of the money skills, is to educate yourself, right? And we know, for example, my bank says that financial literacy in this country is an all-time low, right? I'm learning how to. This is interesting. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to go and get some advice. Then typically, when I hear that, I'm talking to someone who's a lot more grown up around their money. Even if they're not entirely on top of their money right now, there's a sense that they're more grown up about it, right? And again, I didn't say adult on purpose, because, managing money, and importantly, the way you think about it, your attitude to money, is not a chronological thing. Because I know some adults who are hopeless with money. They've got no savings. Now, when I say hopeless with money, their ability to control their impulses out the window. They'll just spend money they don't have usually. They'll max out their credit card. If I say, do you know how much you spend on your overheads? No idea. Have you got savings in place? No idea. Have you got an emergency fund of, say, £3,000 to £4,000? No, I haven't. Do you know what money you've set aside? Have you got a financial cushion in place, a buffer? No, I haven't. Oh, gee, that seems scary. I don't earn enough. You immediately tap into their excuses. Okay, so the trick here is to consider energetically. Do you feel and sound more like a kid or more like a grown-up? Get it? There's Tatiana. Hey. If there's a sense that you're a kid, if you're getting helpless and overwhelmed around money, then shut your eyes, take a deep breath, and repeat these magic words. This is grown-ups work. This is grown-ups work. Managing money. Money managing skills is grown-ups work, right? I hate to say it, but season 1 ends with this comment, right? This is the penultimate. I've got one more to go, and then we've done season 1. We're going to go into season 2. But the big message around managing money is grow up, right? You've got to grow up, do the due diligence, find out, pull out statements, collect receipts. I asked you to collect receipts, and so the next session I'm going to be talking about collecting receipts, right? But grow up around money, okay? Particularly now, right? Put money aside, learn how to save, set money. Say, here's what it costs me to live a month. I'm going to save up as much I know what I spend on a month. If I spend, let's say I spend $3,000 a month on living. Well, I need to start saving $300. I've got $300 saved. Now I've got saved up $600. Now I've saved up $900. Until you've got, $100 a day, not $300. My maths was out there. But, $100 a day. I've got $100, $200, $300. Save up until you've got a month's worth of overheads in savings. Then go for 2 months, then 3 months. Right now I've got 12 months worth of overheads in savings, business and personal, in cash, in savings, right? It's really important, right? But I'm recommending you have at least 3 months. That's the goal for it. Now, if you're going, oh, that's too hard, blah, 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 I can hear straight away where you're coming from. Anyway, this is the second last episode in this series. So next one, I've got some surprises for you. I've got some really good stuff for you for the ultimate of season 1, the season finale. For Multiply Your Money. Doesn't it sound great? And then we're going to go into season 2, where I've got real game change coming up. But okay, so here's how we wrap this up, folks. Firstly, leave some comments below. I'd love some comments. Secondly, make sure if you want to get the book, go get the book. It's available on Kindle and it's on paperback. I like the paperback because you can write in it, right? Maybe I'm old school. There's also the Multiply Your Money podcast, and we're well and truly into season 2 on the podcast. Just search on Spotify for The Real Deal or Multiply Your Money, Andrew Priestley, and you'll find it. Plus, it's on YouTube, so you can go there and you can watch a whole bunch of stuff that I've put up there on YouTube as well. So there's some really good resources. Don't forget to subscribe. And please invite friends into this group. It's really important because, the emails I'm starting to get from people privately and direct personal messages is lives are changing. They're saying, God, I've been watching this now for a month. My life is totally different. And if you've got a success story like that, you've had a little win, leave it, comment in the group. That's the whole purpose of it. Let's leave it there. Hope you have a great week, a great day. Hope you're having a really nice day as it is, and I'll see you on the next recording.